Demonstration. Well, it's said that the definition of an Englishman is someone who is never rude by accident. And that of an Irishman, though, is someone who is quick to forgive but never forgets. And at these family reunions, something our family never forgets is that Jeremiah and Ellen left Ireland in the mid-1980s, 1840s, as did a million others for a reason. The great famine, the great hunger had begun. Ireland was a source of great anxiety to England, as it had been for nearly 700 years. And the Irish people had been neither assimilated or subdued by 1845. During the potato famines, it was impossible to bury all the dead, and yet so numerous were the burials that the same coffin with a hinged bottom was used again and again. Their religion made them an outlaw, and the English language itself was but another wound and scar of their survival. The attempted extinction of a language and a religion failed, but famine mopped up the residue of yet another war. In Dungarvan, Ellen Whalen's hometown, the people witnessed food riots with loss of life when the first Royal Dragoons fired into the crowd that September of 1845. They may have left by then, but surely our cousins witnessed it. In the course of preparing for this reunion, I was astonished to discover there was food other than potatoes in Ireland. And not only was the food not released to the starving, but the harvest of Irish oats was exported. The English stranger reaps our harvest, the alien owns our soil. The tone of the times is best conveyed by a County Wexford poet who lived almost the same years as Jeremiah and Ellen in her poem, The Famine Year, which will be read now with the assistance of my wife, Nona. Weary men, what reap ye?
Golden corn for the stranger.
What sow ye?
Human corpses that await for the avenger.
Fainting forms, all hunger-stricken, what see you in the offing?
Stately ships to bear our food away amid the strangers scoffing.
There's a proud array of soldiers, what do they round your door?
They guard our master's granaries from the thin hands of the poor.
Pale mothers, wherefore weeping?
Would to God that we were dead. Our children swoon before us, and we cannot give them bread. We are fainting in our misery, but God will hear our groan. Yea, fellow men desert us, he will hearken from his throne. Accursed are we in our own land, yet we toil, yet toil we still and toil. But the stranger reaps our harvest, the alien owns our soil. O Christ, how have we sinned that on our native plains we perish houseless, naked, starved, with branded brow like Cain's, dying, dying wearily, with a torture sure and slow, dying as a dog would die by the wayside as we go.
This poem was written by Lady Jane Wilde of Wexford, who lived from 1826 to 1896, a poet and writer who died forgotten in the midst of her son Oscar's public disgrace. It was my sister-in-law, Rita Lyons, who gave me a beautifully illustrated book of Irish poetry, who first introduced me to this poem. Well, from that very grim picture, it will rapidly be erased when Betty Coughlin-Ballsball now comes to join us, and I'm sure she will give us a glimpse of the Lyons Coughlin's scrapbook and many other images.
I'm Elizabeth Coughlin-Ballsball. My connection to the Lyons family was Ellen Agnes Lyons, who married James Coughlin in 1874 in Chicago. Ellen and James first made their home in Kansas. Their oldest son was John, and he was my father. And by the way, today is John's birthday. He was born August 10th, 1876. James and Ellen had 7 sons and 3 daughters. When they migrated to Dakota in 1883, the next son that was born in January of 1884, and they named him Carthage. For Carthage, South Dakota, which was at that time a brand new town, and he was the first male baby born in Carthage, South Dakota. Another son was Charles Lyons Coughlin. He was my Uncle Charlie, as I knew him. And all the Coughlins were great storytellers, and they also liked poems. And among my belongings, I have a couple of Uncle Charlie's poems, and that's what I'm going to read to you. One of them, and of course he recited these from memory. One of them is called Around the Corner. Around the corner I have a friend, in this great city that has no end. Yet days go by and weeks rush on, and before I know it, a year is gone, and I never see my old friend's face, for life is a swift and terrible race. He knows I like him just as well as in the days when I rang his bell, and he rang mine. We were younger then, and now we are busy, tired men, tired with playing a foolish game, tired with trying to make a name. Tomorrow, I say, I will call on Jim, just to show that I'm thinking of him. But tomorrow comes and tomorrow goes, and the distance between us grows and grows. Around the corner, yet miles away, here's a telegram, sir. Jim died today. And that's what we get and deserve in the end. Around the corner, the vanished friend. And this was written by Charles Hanson Towne. Then in a lighter vein, and I recall Uncle Charlie reciting this one called The Morning After. Wife speaking. Good morning, my bright international mate, my outstanding genius in problems of state. I trust all is clear in that wonderful mind, which last night remodeled the whole of mankind. Your handling of Russia, the Ruhr, Palestine, and China and Greece, it was masterly fine. You're sure to be named the man of the year. Here's 4 or 5 aspirin. Swallow them, dear. Oh, wait, my fine songster, it's well on towards noon. All morning I waited, just hoping you'd croon a measure from Chloe, or Deep Rolling Sea, which last night you sang until 3:30. You awakened the neighbors, you tripped on the mat. One of your props was your hostess's hat. I'm sure she'll want you again for tonight, the life of the party, whenever you're tight. Arise, my sweet prince. Be careful, don't skip. Arise and consider the things that you did. The uprooted garden, the splintered garage. It sounded just like an old-fashioned barrage. Go see your hostess and carry a check. I think if you sign it, just pain in the neck. The bank will okay it, it would have to be you. The clown that went berserk twixt the dawn and the dew. So drink up the seltzer, you chattering drone. It's said to be good for a splittering dome. I wish I were Sandow, how far I would throw you. For the next 30 days, please pretend I don't know you. My juvenile jackass, my dim-witted duffer. You say you feel awful? Well, goddamn it, suffer.